Hello, friends and neighbors. It's Mrs. Jane on a snowy Sunday with all the fantastic news you can use about our week at school. Parents, it looks like the days just got away from us this week, and so instead of a daily report, looks like you're going to get more like a weekly recap. But don't worry, we've got all the details here ready to go. Just fasten your seatbelts and listen up. So, on Monday, our usual opening procedures, we had our temperature taken by Mrs. Ann, headed down the stairs for our cubbies to hang up our backpacks and our jackets and coats, made sure we got our folders to the take-home box, sanitized our hands, signed in on the clothesline, and moved over to our tabletops. Starting with Monday, parents, it was the last day to look at our name trains where we used the counting cubes with our letters on them and connected them to spell our names. Well, final round there on Monday. A little seasonal tracing left to right, and this time we had a turkey, a pilgrim, a Native American, and the Mayflower going left to right. On table number 2, we drew in a little bit of letter H, our new letter for the week, as well as our math concepts. And so here, each of the kids had a mound of Play-Doh and a plastic hammer. And the adult leading the group would show a number card. The kids had to identify the number and then pound their Play-Doh that many times. Lots of fun counting on that table. After that, on table number 3, we asked everybody to decorate their H. And this time, we used brown markers to color the H first, and then we applied some beautiful heart stickers. On table number 4, of course, time to rainbow write letter G. And lots of good answers there when I asked what letter it was, and to make the sound, parents, be very proud. Good progress there. And when we were done with the rainbow writing at that table, we also squeezed in a little time to write notes to our family veterans and active military personnel. Of course, there was kinetic sand. And by the way, parents, we are doing very well with that kinetic sand. The playing part and even the storing part. Our persons of the day have been very good inspectors to make sure that the tops are on, as we said before. The little containers and the Ziploc bags are in place to keep that kinetic sand fresh for us to use every time. We also had some puzzles out for our groups. And then, of course, a little transition to our choo-choo line. Our ticket, of course, this week, our brown H. And just so you know, friends, the company line on that H, how to make that H sound, the H test, you put your hand up in front, and when you make the sound, you should feel your breath on your hand. Then you know you got the H correctly. Our little train ride to our morning circle where we introduced our persons of the day. We promised to be good citizens with the pledge to the flag. We also did a little good morning song. We had a little 7th inning stretch where, remember, we are the turkeys, yeah. And so we did a little wing flapping, 1 through 15, as we flapped our wings up and down, and then a little running in place as we pretended to run away from the farmer, so we didn't get to eat dinner on Thanksgiving. Also in our circle, parents, we did a little goodbye to letter G, hello to letter H. We did a little attendance report and weather report. Then we moved on, actually, because we spent so much more time with our tabletops on this day, we moved on then for our break. Necessary room, a little free read in the library, followed by our snack time and a birthday celebration to greet our very first, brandy newest, fabulously 5-year-old friends. And some delicious cupcakes to accompany that. And then also, that's where we introduced our new pink thank you bell. So at snack time, when anyone said thank you for a service rendered, we would ring the little bell to acknowledge that thank you. After, of course, our snack, then it was time to head over to some center time. Oh, and by the way, parents, I forgot to mention our music and movement. You can't have a day at school without music and movement. So before we did transition to that break time, we did manage to do our thank you rhyme, if you're thankful and you know it song, our Thanksgiving blessing. Good practice there and good practice at snack time, so we'll be ready on Thanksgiving Day to share that blessing with the family. We had a little turkey trot on Thanksgiving Day, and We Are Thankful song. During the center time today, let's see, the Magna blocks were out. Some very interesting construction there, parents. Wow. Our hula hoops came out, tool benches with hammers, the easels for painting, housekeeping, and a story in the library if you like. After that, clean everything up, headed over to our goodbye circle where we started with show and tell. We circulated our, I'm jumping ahead, parents. I'm trying to get all these words in at once. Story time, before you can get to the goodbye circle. The story was the story Turkey Troubles, fun story. We finished that and then headed to the goodbye part. So a little show and tell, circulate our class book, preview of what's to come on Wednesday, a little goodbye song, a little treat, backpacks, and then headed up the stairs to greet all of you for the rest of our day. Moving on to Wednesday, parents, you already know the opening, so I'm going to skip over that part and just give you the important stuff. This is the day on Table 1, Tabletops, we introduced our wipe-off tracing page for each of the kids' names. And so they have a little page with 4 different trials to trace their name. It's inside a page protector, so we can use a wipe-off marker on the page and then erase it when we're done. We can try it again the next time we come to school. To give us a little extra cue as to where to start our writing, our tracing, there's a green smiley face under the first letter and a red smiley face under the last letter of our names. We make sure to orient the kids top to bottom so that when they start tracing, they start at number 1 place, move down the page from top to bottom. Again, we're using fine motor skills as well as our visual orientation on the page. Yeah, good start to that, parents. Also, we moved on to table number 2. This one was a little bit of weighing some objects to find out which is heavier. Draw in that letter H, combine it with some math, parents. So we had our balance scales and pairs of objects and a little recording sheet. And the kids were asked to predict which item of the pair they thought was going to be heavier. We put a P next to that item's name. Then we actually weighed each of the pairs and decided which one was actually heavier. Then on table number 3, table number 3, it was decorating our letter H. We used our brown bingo dabbers, remembering, of course, to make sure that we would dab, not stab, because when you stab, parents, you know that ink goes flying everywhere. If we dab, however, that gentle motion makes sure that most of the ink gets on the H and not anyplace else. Our question of the week, because it was Wednesday, we asked, do you like hot dogs or hamburgers at the picnic? We'll talk to you about the results of that in just a minute. We continued writing our letters of thank you to the family veterans and military personnel. More kinetic sand. And then heading over to the Rock-A-Motion Choo-Choo and brainstorming some and recording some H words. The results of our question, looks like most of us are hot dog lovers, parents. Yeah. So prepare those, or be prepared for the next picnic. More hot dogs than hamburgers. Yeah. Our hello circle, typical routine there, nothing out of the ordinary. But then when we separated into our groups, Mrs. Ann was having us do a little project with our hands to create a turkey. So we were given an arch. And in the center of the arch, we used our thumb painted in brown as the turkey body. We embellished with some eyes, a beak, and a wattle. And then we used our fingerprint in that arc in 4 different rows, painted the feathers using our fingerprints. And we used color yellow, color red, color orange, and color brown. And you should be seeing those, if not already, in the backpacks. Over on the literacy side of things, of course, we sang our ABC song. We moved the frame to letter H, practiced that H test, and then we began a little fun with letter H. And in this case, it was using hula hoops. So we had some hula hoop games. Each of us had our own hula hoop. We jumped in, we jumped out. We tried to use it in the traditional sense to, like we try to get it to go around or at our waist. That's a really hard one, parents. Yeah, for all of us. We did some other actions in and out and positional words, but the most fun was making that hula hoop run. We stand it up on its side and push it and see how far it can go. Wow, some of them went all the way across the room, some just made circles. It was great fun. And then after that, of course, let's see, time for a break, yeah, and our necessary trip to the necessary room, free read in the library, little snack, and then center time. Of course, housekeeping. Brought those hula hoops back out. Our tool benches with hammers. Oh, thank goodness we had those out because there was a lot of fixing going on. Yeah. Painting at the easels, vehicles, action toys, books in the library. Our story was, let's see, oh, I'm mixing that one up. I think we had to do double time on one for that, the story. Oh, Mrs. Jane, where is it? Where is it? Aha, the turkey train. Sorry. And we had to actually lay that one over for Friday. But we did our show and tell in the Goodbye Circle. We circulated our class book, gave a little preview of Happy Hat Day for Friday, our goodbye song, our treat, our backpacks, and dismissal. Now, the fun of Happy Hat Day. Who couldn't be happy on Happy Hat Day? So that, of course, concluded our week on Friday. And after our opening procedures, heading down the stairs and all, table one was a name trace, of course, with our wipe off, moving top to bottom of the page, moving left to right on each line, and a little seasonal tracing, our turkey, our pilgrim, our Native American, and our Mayflower, moving in a different line, but from left to right. On table number 2, all of the coins that everyone so generously donated to help buy turkeys for our neighbors in need. Well, we took out our muffin tins and those coins, and we did some sorting of each of the coins, and then we did some counting of each group. So we put them to work. And then we did on table number 4, a little decorating of letter H, colored it brown, tore some strips of brown paper and glued that onto the H. And we also had another page with some hats, pictures of hats and letter H. We had to color the hats with the letter H on it. We also made a sentence, I am happy when, and those sentences you'll see as we make our Happy Hat Day book. We did we had a game station. This was a lot of fun. And so, a couple of things going on there. We had the hat fling. So, we had 2 sun hats, and same motion you use to fling your frisbee across the park, we did it with a hat. And then we had a little hat attack. We stood some birthday hats, the little paper triangle-shaped birthday hats, yeah, on our library shelf, and gave everybody some beanbags and tried to knock them off. And then we had a little minute to win it style game where we had a box full of hats, and you had about 15 seconds to see how many hats you could stack on your head before the time limit expired or they all fell off. Lots of fun there. And let's see, we still had our kinetic sand available and some puzzles. I'm sorry. And then we broke, of course, for our train ride. And we finally gave the results of our guessing jar with the goldfish in it. And this time, first time that this happened to us this year, we didn't guess exactly how many goldfish were in there. Yeah, closest guess was 29, and there are only 25 in there. But the good news is several of us got that, made that same estimate, so several of us did get to go home with some goldfish. Our typical hello circle, our 7th inning stretch, little music and movement for us. And, we also added the song Happy by Pharrell. Well, Happy Hat Day. It all worked out. It all worked in. Then our craft on that day, we suspended. We went right to our transition, our little bathroom break, our free read in the library, our delicious and nutritious snacks to replenish our energy. We made sure to listen for the thank yous, though, parents, and ring that pink bell. After that, time for centers, slide day, because it was Friday. We had our tool benches out with plenty of hammers and other tools to fix things in the classroom, our vehicles and action toys, our cars on the highway, hula hoops, and opportunity to read in the library. And then after that, of course, time to clean up and move towards our story. Remember, that was Turkey Train. After our story, time for show and tell, circulate our class book, give a little Monday preview, our goodbye song, a little treat, headed for our backpacks, and then our dismissal. And you'll notice, parents, Monday through Friday of this week, we were initiating our winter dismissal, which means you are going to sign in, go back to your car and wait for us, and then we come down in parade style, down the sidewalk in parade style. And I don't know about you, but Mrs. Ann and I are thinking it's going pretty well. Let us know what you think, but we're pretty proud of how everybody's handling that new change. Let's see, I think we have some reminders for you. Make sure, I'm going to read my pages to make sure that I get them all, yes? As we move ahead to next week, we keep color brown for one more day, but we're going to switch to the new letter, which will be I. So it's time to brainstorm lots of interesting I words. We want to thank all the parents for their participation at the recent parent meeting and all the feedback that you gave us there. We want to thank everybody for their generosity in bringing in the coins to help us buy turkeys for our friends in need. And you'll be proud to know, parents, that the Fantastic Four families brought in, that's 13 families, brought in $116 and change. You'll get a paper get a memo about it coming home on Monday in the backpack. So look out for that. There's a couple more details to include, but thank you for your generosity. This will really help our neighbors. We want to remind everybody that on Monday it will be our Thanksgiving celebration, and please to send your stuffy with your child to represent the family and your ingredient for our fruit salad. We also want you to know that that would be a good time to send in your plant orders for our next fundraiser. Mommy Morgan will be Bennett will be putting in those orders so we can get them back to everybody in a timely fashion. Speaking of that, our Thanksgiving recess will begin at the close of business on Monday and will extend to the following Sunday. So we should see everybody back again on Monday, November the 30th. Wow, how did we get there? Whew, time really does fly, doesn't it? We also want you to know, parents, that when we come back from our Thanksgiving recess, the elf on the shelf should be returning, but it's all the details I'm going to give right now. More to come. We want you to know, parents, this would be a good time to check your agenda from the parent meeting. Make sure that you understand and that you remember all the dates and events that are coming up, because there's going to be a lot of stuff happening pretty soon. If you've misplaced that agenda and you need another one, please let us know so we can get that information to you. And our book orders are going to be due then by the 24th for Mommy Fry. And I think we've just about got it all. Wow, fast and furious, parents. But as always, if you have some questions, if you have some concerns, please let us know. And in addition to reminding everybody that it's always a good day to have a good day at Jack and Jill, Mrs. Ann and I want to extend our most sincere wishes for a happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And we hope you enjoy that day with your family. We'll see you again at the end of November. I guess that's all for now. Bye-bye.